Aha, hello, you appear to have caught me in the middle of making the next piece of music for the game, specifically a battle music track, as in something which would play during a battle. By the way, welcome back to another... Okay, that's enough of that. Well, anyway, so we've got a basic idea of what we want. Yeah, I want it to be slightly more, tense and dramatic than the other one. So I thought, drum and bass. I mean... Okay, so what have I been doing all of this time? Actually, it's not been that long, has it? Okay, never mind. Well, anyway, so I've decided that I'm going to basically make all these models a bit more, fresh, a bit better looking, as in actually bearable to look at. Okay, so the next thing I want to make is a seat. Yeah, a seat. A seat.
How am I going to make a seat?
Okay, so it's time to make more cities. So, what I'm basically going to do is constantly do this until I find a name that I like. Tricaster. I like that name. We're going to make that the main city of Kosala. So you may notice that there are quite a lot of buildings at this point. Like, a lot of them. Like, a lot of them. So, the thing which I've done to fix all of these lag issues is basically prefabricated a group of this one specific building into one object. There are 50 of them in one singular object now. I think that's more the amount of people wrong than was aside from that. Yes, everything's frozen. Better than nothing. Okay, so overall, was today a success? I don't know. Okay, I have no idea because I don't know what qualifies as a success. So yeah. Oh well. Anyway, that will be it for today. Because I'm bored and I need to figure out what the hell to do next. Oh boy, another day, another samey introduction to the day. Once again, my Alex predictions, but anyway, yes, so, what was I doing again? I don't know what things, but I'm going to do them anyway. Anyway, yes. Okay, so, pretty much, I need to get things done, so, play around and well, you know what, that, somewhat works, I suppose. I'm still doing 25 damage. The next thing I added was a somewhat Cloud City inspired area. Because obviously, you know, cities in the clouds are cool. Okay, next thing I feel like I need to add is basically, fake advertisement. Don't ask how I came to this conclusion, I just came to it, so... Okay, so the final thing I'm going to do today, basically, make a new ship. And I think it's gonna be a bit different than the other ones. Yeah, it's going to be the first one from a different manufacturer. I assume the previous 4 were from the same manufacturer, so this one is gonna be a new manufacturer instead. Okay, so I was planning to do a bit more of that style of video, but if you have a look in Drive 2, where I've put all of the actual video files in here, 44, most of them are about an hour long, so that's 44 hours of development, at the maximum. Now, I'd rather not work with 44 items of development insight. So, instead of that, I'm just gonna summarize it by saying I did some bug fixes, as well as improvements to other systems such as the procedural generation system and actual planetary landing systems. Oh, for God's sake. Never mind. Okay, so what are we gonna do then? So, thing I need to work on is a material refinery, which is basically this huge space station which refines materials. I don't know, I don't know, the name just sounds similar. It sounds a bit descriptive, doesn't it? So, I imagine this huge station with, like, inflow of material. I've already made the model, you don't have to imagine it. Here it is. Let's go. Whoa! Yay! I've already recorded all of this footage. Right. Right, okay, actually we don't want to do that. Okay, so, now, what I want to do is basically make a new ship. But this one is going to be a bit different. You'll see this one, unlike the previous ones which we've made, is going to be a capital ship. Okay, so what exactly do I mean by capital ship? Basically, the leader of a fleet of ships. So, this would be the ship which would be carrying the spacecraft into battle to fight the evil forces of, I don't know, Skynet? I've got no idea. But, yeah, so that's what we're going to be making now. And this is the final result. I quite like it personally. Following the completion of this ship's model, I decided to change up the UI a bit to be a tad more cohesive, as well as to add some structure with all of the important information down the bottom left and all of the important buttons down the bottom left and pretty much everything down the bottom left, really. I also added a system to show the date and time. However, this took me about 45 minutes to figure out, so I'm A, quite proud of it, and B, still quite surprised at how bloody long it took. Okay, so next thing I want to do really is basically work on the space station UI. Okay, so after a bit of testing and trying to make it work, I finally actually got it working. Okay, so I've been working a bit on the weather and clouds for the game, and I've decided to add a slightly newer effect I like to call fog. Now it is particle fog, so it's not the best. At this point, I encountered an issue. It was way too laggy. It was not playable. It wasn't fun. Anyway, here's the new fog effect. I think it's quite cool, but it's not worth the lag. Okay, so I've been working a bit on the graphics. Now, you won't be able to tell that much difference. Yeah. 'Cause... Actually, let's not go to you, TriCaster. let's instead go to our good old friend, Regenerer. I still haven't applied for cloud material to the planet. That's something. Okay, so you may notice that there's that more haze around here than there was previously. Yes, I added fog to Regenerer because I could and I wanted to. So I've added fog to Regenerer. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I really just don't want to have to deal with all of this anymore. Right, I guess I should probably elaborate on my point a little. So, the thing about procedural generation is that you have to actually generate it somehow using methods which you don't know how to control, but you sort of do need to control it a little. But it's too complicated and I can't be asked. Okay, I can't be asked. And also it takes a really large amount of time to actually generate it. So you're sitting there waiting while your application ain't responding to any tools, and it's just a pain in the ass. So instead of doing that, I'm gonna make them myself. Now, I know a lot of you may think, but you can't make an entire galaxy yourself. And that's true, I can't, but I do have a technique to do this. So run the 3D graphics to explain everything. I haven't said that sentence in a long time and it feels good to say it again. Run the 3D graphics! The planet is comprised of 4 textures. The base map, a basic noise texture to define the base height. The 2 feature maps, a way to add details like craters and mountains to a planet. And an ocean map, a way to carve an ocean into the planet by subtraction. All 4 of these are combined to create the planets.
Edit that in Inspector, and that's what File Inspector Career allows you to do.
I got something working. Now, it ain't perfect. Right, well, I would say that works quite well for what I was trying to do. And if I get the resolution up on the textures a bit more, I think it would really work quite well. So I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so this whole procedural generation system is working quite well, no? I've made many more things to add to the planet, so that's all very nice. Yeah. And in my opinion, they all look quite nice as well. Look at all these ocean maps. Okay, there's one. I quite like it, actually. That's pretty cool. Another one. Nice. Purple oceans, very interesting. Next. Obviously, the oceans haven't actually been added yet, but I need to deal with that in a bit. Ooh, that's actually quite nice. Ooh, that's a very interesting plant. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so at the moment I am lacking any form of procedural gas giant generation. However, I want to deal with that later because for now I feel that I need to make a few new weapons. Let me show you what I mean. Hello, welcome. Yes, it's my beautiful face again. Anyway, so this is a pen. That's obvious, but what does a pen do? Well, it has a lid that separates. And for some reason, in the middle of school, because I go to school, obviously, I had the idea of this basically dropping down, then this separating, no, like this, and then it just goes on its way. So I'm gonna try to make that now. Don't ask me why, I've got no idea, but I'm gonna make it anyway. Okay, so I've got the basics of actually getting this system working. So we now have a missile, and it does indeed demonstrate. Okay, so the missiles currently ain't perfect, I'm gonna be honest. However, right now I want to focus on something a little bit different. So, you know how planets rotate? Yeah, I want you to actually be able to rotate with a planet. I got riled up over nothing. So, by the way, hello, welcome to Skyora at night. It's a lot better, and I still need to delete the space dust effect. Or at least make it so that it only shows in space. But you can see. It's working perfectly. We are actually rotating right now. Okay, so after a few tweaks to the planet, I've actually finally got it to a state where I'm happy with it for now. So, what I'm gonna do now is create, instead of having a bunch of just one texture for the entire planet, I'm gonna have multiple. Okay, so one of the main problems which I've had with my space stations is that I don't know how I'm gonna do the gravity for them. Because some of them spin, and that's gonna be a pain in the arse. Some of them don't, but some of them do. Now I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but I have added a new space station. This is it. It's the Grand Ring Star. I shall show it to you in game. Now it's actually quite impressive in game. Of course, because it's so huge, it sort of just automatically leaves an impression. Okay, so I've got some basic system working. Now it ain't great right now because obviously, well, there's still quite a lot of work I need to do on it. Oh, that's okay. You can definitely see we are rotating. Okay, so the next thing I want to do right now is, figure out how to actually transport yourself around a space station. It took me long enough. So I think I should use lifts. Okay, hello, welcome to the Ring Star Station. This is the interior of it. As you can see, it's a lot bigger than it looks. So here we have the entry. Let's go to the right, 0, and hopefully this works. 4, 5, 6. Ah, what a wonderfully successful thing. But now we need to work on some gas giants. Now we don't need that many textures to start off with because we only really need to get enough to do some basic testing. Okay, so I've got a basic working prototype at this point. It does take its time when loading the actual script, but it does work. I'm sure I can fix that. Well, that definitely... Okay, so now that I've got that done, what I want to do is add, basically, I'm going to make this, yeah, that looks about right, doesn't it? Now we have to find some Reference images of a night sky. Okay, this actually looks quite cool. I have a look. Look at that. That looks... Oh, that looks perfect. It looks great. I love it. Okay, I've done a small bit of work on the skybox, and now it should look a bit nicer. Now something about that just looks I know it's not that realistic, but something about it just looks so... Okay, so now I want to do a bit of a comparison from what we're doing now to where we were a year ago. Now, this is the 5th build overall, and this was almost a year ago now. Well, that's 15th of April, so it was about a year ago. So this is where we were a year ago. Can't skip the intro. So already it looks a lot different. This is what we have to deal with. Physics, simulation. It doesn't help. Oh, and also there's actually no layers in this version as well. So there's no moon, there's only the rings. Possible at least. Oh, and you can't go to other star systems in this version. Because I hadn't added that yet. I don't suppose it would be much better. God, this is a nightmare to play land. Now, I don't believe that this version is much better. So, yeah. I mean, the fact that no okay, there we go. Yeah, still no interior view. Aha, but there is a difference. You see, if we go towards the sun, you will see something very, very useful and generally considered cool. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the first ring star. This was the very first station to utilize the name of ring star. In hindsight, it looks absolutely horrible and did not deserve the name, but it is a ring star nonetheless. So now that we've compared those two, we're now going to compare both of those to what we have now. You can already see, it just looks better. And of course there's the planetary landings. now the terrain is actually accurate. And the ring star obviously looks a lot cooler. And the re-entry effects look a lot cooler as well. I'm still just about as good at landing as I am there. I haven't improved much in that regard. Yep. I'd say that's a year's worth of progress. Oh, and also, let's not forget my recent addition of here. Skybox, which just makes everything look cooler. Oh, and that's not the only thing which is different, because of course, here, if we just go down here, and we say select one of these stars, nah, let's go to Zehamube. At least all the planet, star names are pronounceable. Oh, and also you can access the settings menu from inside of the game, so you don't need to go all the way back. Okay! Holy! I'm actually lost for words. That is legit. That's another world. That is another solar system. It ain't very realistic. Yeah, like, you don't just get purple stars, but... And you can see the colours fluctuating because of the how the star is rendered. It actually feels huge. Well, here we are. 1 year after ARESDA version 0.02c. Oh, God. Oh, it really... Like, I have tried to start this project 3 times before this time. Time 1, it was a really bad real-time strategy. Like, like, all the units with small pixels, and you clicked, and all the pixels moved to the location, and all those pixels were supposed to be, like, your ships, and, like, there was this sphere to emulate a planet and stuff. Yeah, it wasn't great. Version 2, it was the first actual 3D version of ARESDA, but you could only move in one axis, and you were like basically a hockey puck. And it was a really badly drawn solar system, our own solar system, what is referred to as Genesia in the 31st century. And yeah, it wasn't great. Version 3 was slightly better. It utilized basically Polybrush, which is an add-on for Unity which allows you to basically just sculpt things, and I used it to sculpt the planets, and it weren't great, but it worked for what I wanted it to do, and then I deleted it, but it was what I wanted, as I said in the second devlog. So that was the first version which was actually published onto YouTube. Actually had evidence of it existing. And then the fourth version was the one that I just showed you. And then the fifth version is what we have today. And I started that first initial version like over 1.5 years ago now. And I started the newest version about 8 months at this point. Yeah, 8 months. So it's the longest lasting version. And it's definitely the best version. Oh god, how have I had such a lack of actual life that I can actually do this? But there's still a lot of work to do, so this ain't over yet. We're just getting started. So I'll see you next time for ARESDA Devlog number 8. For God's sake, I'm not gonna do this gag again. Jesus Christ, I do this every single time. Can you just roll the bloody outro? I swear to God.